Welcome back, and Newsline starts right now. And to Maiduguri, a city endowed with rich cultural heritage, has shown extraordinary resilience in the face of countless storms. Now, from its past history as the land of 1,000 kings through relentless insurgencies and devastating fires, now a fierce flood has carved another place in the city's history. But amidst the devastation was a display of raw human emotion, grief, despair, and an incredible will to survive. Mohammed Abubakar captured these powerful scenes of both destruction and resilience for Newsline, and we do advise viewers' discretion, as some images may be deeply unsettling.
A panoramic view on the scale of the flood that hit Maiduguri city and its environs, and the devastation that came with it. What a person sees of the destruction, despair, and resilience speak volumes on the magnitude of the problem at hand, seen by many as unprecedented in living memory. From the Dandal Square to Pori, Costin to Monday Market to Gwange, Lagos Street to Abaganaram, Gamboru to Custom to Muna Garage, to mention but a few. It is the same tale of woes by everyone you see around these areas, with the story of a lost but found child believed to be around 6 months old, floating in the running water before she was rescued by some good Samaritans. Dramatic scenes have also emerged of the military and other emergency responders leading a very delicate rescue missions involving families trapped on rooftops for many days. NTA came across some victims with some narratives that are heartbreaking.
On the night the flood happened, we went out of the house together with him. But till date now, we have no information or any communication with him.
This flood is unprecedented. It's so devastating. It has gone beyond the previous flood that's occurred in Borno State.
We managed to come out, and 2 of my grandchildren, I can't find them.
Even our parents have never witnessed a calamity of this nature. For 2 days, we have not slept in our houses. As for the losses we suffered, we lack the words to say it.
Even animals, especially those kept in the zoo and others considered domestic, are not spared of the woes brought by the flood, and they also became victims in a way.
Incredible spirit of resilience indeed. Thankfully, the NTA Maiduguri premises was spared. And Mohammed, we do appreciate your stepping out of your leadership role in the face of adversity to bring us this story. Thank you. We are still in Maiduguri, and as the flood victims begin the arduous task of rebuilding their lives, the heartbreaking scenes have also evoked widespread sympathy across the nation. And the Northern States Governors Forum responded with support, sending a delegation that was led by the Gombe State Governor, Mohammed Inwa-Yahya, to witness the aftermath. Now, after spending the night in Maiduguri, the delegation also experienced the stark reality of our mourning in the flood's wake. And our correspondent, Emmanuel Akila, recounts the moments and shares vivid scenes for Newsline.
The 4th day after the flood dawns on the victims of the disaster. Those who choose to take refuge in safe areas besides the temporary shelters provided by the government, wake up to start the day. It is not the same as the business days before the flood.
As I talk with you, I have just the clothes on me left. Everything is gone because we were only trying to save our lives. We sleep on the streets. We only get food assistance from the neighborhood.
As the floodwaters continue raging in some parts of Maiduguri, the likes of Mahamudu Bello, who are now standing on safer grounds, look at the receding waters in despair, counting their losses and hoping for better days ahead. Governor Babagana Umar Azilim received the Gombe delegation in Maiduguri. Prayers were offered for the souls lost in the Maiduguri tragic flood. Then a support of 100 million naira to assist the victims presented.
We sincerely appreciate your coming at this material time, and we also acknowledge your contributions towards uplifting the sufferings of the affected persons.
When this incident happened, for those that saw the pictures and others, it was so devastating. Despite the fact that the governor is in China, what he saw there was not palatable. So immediately he sent this delegation.
The same sympathy visit took the contingent to the palace of the Shehu Oborno.
To sympathize with you over the flood.
The Gombe delegation's first port of call is Damaturu, the Yobe state capital, to sympathize with the state over flood disaster and the terror attack in Mafa.
We are most grateful and appreciative on behalf of the good people of Yobe State for this kind gesture. Not only the token support of 50 million naira that matters, but the sympathy shown to us.
And our hearts go out to the people and government of Maiduguri. Indeed, the sun will shine and the good times will come again. Let's move on to other stories now. With fuel prices no longer being pocket-friendly for many people, desire for greener, cheaper alternative is starting to make waves. But here is where it gets interesting. Our very own energy correspondent, Lydia Sampson, isn't just reporting on it. She took the plunge herself, and in our next story, Lydia, known among us, her colleagues, as a woman leader, opens up about what it's really like to drive a CNG car, the ups and downs, and everything in between.
I've reported the presidential initiative on compressed natural gas interface with motorists who converted their vehicles. Now, as a reporter, I've become part of the story. Spending 45,000 naira or more on petrol every 2 weeks, despite limiting my movement, is no joke. But since converting my car to CNG, I only spent 14,000 naira in a month. I now understand the unbelievable cost-effective revolution of CNG. The process involves installing a CNG system, which includes a storage tank and modified fuel injectors. Despite initial fears about safety, many experts I had interviewed have found that CNG is a cleaner, safer option, emitting less carbon than petrol. Their assurances ignited my interest, and I must say I have found that the conversion not only reduced my fuel expenses, but also contributed to a smaller carbon footprint.
Ultimately, the way to go is CNG, and that is why the government has for a long time been clamoring for people. In fact, most recently, there's even free combustion. The Presidential Committee on CNG, like for us, they have made us almost all our states in the country, 36 plus FCT. They've given us about 100 kits free.
This shift for many other CNG users represents a significant step towards sustainable transportation in the face of rising petrol prices and environmental challenges.
It's really nice, and In the aspect of the economy now, we that use it for business, we enjoy it better than fuel. Sometimes if we use it for, it's like we are using our own blood to drive.
I've been using CNG for over a month now. Yes.
And what has the experience been like?
Yeah, so far so good. It has been good. It has been awesome. But the only challenges we still have is the fact that the cost of conversion is still expensive.
Laudable as the CNG initiative is, the major challenge, motorists say, is sparsity of CNG filling stations.
We have to take a journey from town to airport road to come and buy gas, which is wrong. So if the government can give us where we can be buying the gas in the city center, everywhere, the filling station, we can be refilling, it will make life easier.
Already, more CNG stations are springing up, just as demand is growing. Can you believe it is no longer the driving and out CNG top-up, as queues are building up as CNG users increase? This is attributed to the fact that only 2 CNG stations are continuously dispensing CNG in the FCT.
Lydia Sampson, our woman leader, actually leading us to a greener, cheaper alternative via CNG. Now, reigning for 2 decades and a half as a custodian of culture and tradition isn't an easy feat. And that's why the city of Doma in Nasarawa State recently came alive with a grand celebration honoring the successful reign of His Royal Highness Ahmadu Aliyu Oga Onawo, the 43rd Adoma of Doma. Aliyu Tijani reports that it was a spectacular affair with prominent guests in attendance.
The ancient town was awash with colors. Its rich culture and traditions were on display. It was simply a roll call of leaders and the led, the political class, captains of industries and traditional rulers from the north and across the Niger. They are here to rejoice with Anduma, whose reign, the people testify, attracted development to the community. They said, he's an outstanding leader.
We thank Almighty Allah for your life, and we urge you to redouble your efforts in working for humanity.
The Andoma, as a custodian of a still run, serves not just as a ruler, but as a beacon of our collective heritage and identity.
Andoma, we are very proud of you. It is not of your age that matters. It is your achievement that we are talking about.
The solidarity by the people of Doma is seen as reflection of a king, revered and loved by his people. At the event, the state governor, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, was represented by the deputy governor, Dr. Emmanuel Akabi, himself a traditional title holder in Doma.
We are proud of his contributions, we are proud of his suggestions, we are proud of his advices. At meetings, we all look forward to listening to the Andoma.
The joy of the people was palpable. Moved by the show of love, the elated celebrant says he is motivated to do more in the service of Almighty God and humanity.
May Allah abound his favors and blessings on Doma and the people of Doma. Amen. May the good we have seen now and those to come before, those to come after this be better than the ones we have seen now.
As the curtains fall on the 20th anniversary celebration, the people of Doma and its well-wishers are full of prayers for a long, prosperous reign for the Andoma of Doma.
All right, now the Durbar, often linked with Salah celebrations like Eid al-Kabir or Eid al-Mulud, is a vibrant cultural display. And the Salah Ghani Durbar, held on the 12th of Rabiul Awal, honors the birth of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And this year's celebration at the Emir's Palace in Dara was a very colorful display of tradition and devotion. And Governor Dikko Umar Dada was among the attendees, while Umar Farouk Umar captured the essence of the event for Newsline.
Sallar Gani is an age-old festival observed in Daura Emirate during Eid al-Mawlud celebration precisely on 12th day of Rabi al-Awwal in the Islamic calendar.
It is the period where all the traditional rulers or emirs of those 7 Hausa states and non-7 Hausa states used to come to Daura to greet their father, Bau and Tarabdagari.
The ceremony of Sallar Gani has kick-started with a vibrant procession of horse riders wearing traditional colorful attires through the street of Daura before their convergence at the Emir's Palace. Emir Umar Farouk Umar joined the district and village heads by receiving warm greetings from dignitaries, including the Katsina State Governor Dikko Umar Radda, among other prominent personalities. Sons and daughters of the Daura Emirate from various places have flocked back home to take part of the prestigious festival.
Very happy that we've started it well for today and we ended well. And everything is going smoothly. Different people are showing their cultural differences.
We are proud of it and we are highly impressed with our tradition.
As you can see, not me alone, my friends here and all other people that have gathered from around the country are in a jubilation mood.
Governor Dikko Umar Radda was delighted to reaffirm his administration's commitment to ensure preservation of the cultural heritage. The Sallar Gani festival is celebrated, but its memory will continue to linger in the people's mind for years to come.
Absolutely splendid. You're watching Newsline. Time to take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Now, retirement marks a significant shift in one's life, trading long hours of work for endless days of probably golf, tennis, travel, or even cherished omugo with grandchildren. Now, for Dr. Ngozi Onwudiwe, former permanent secretary at the Federal Ministry of Information, it's time to relax and enjoy life without the daily grind. Friends, family, colleagues, and well-wishers, including Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris Malagi, gathered to celebrate her transition to retirement. Deborah Balabubu captured the beautiful occasion for Newsline.
Like every good thing that has a beginning must have an end, so was the case of Dr. Ngozi, who bows out of a meritorious service of her motherland, a medical doctor by profession, whose move into the federal civil service left her treating files rather than patients, and not only handling one ministry, but 3 ministries in general, following the demerging of the now Ministry of Information.
Honestly, I would say it wasn't easy because all my life in the civil service, from 1992, for about 20 years I worked in the hospital. For a few years I worked at the headquarters, still doing medical things. So by 2021, when I became a permanent secretary and sent to head of service, it was like fish out of water. But we had the head of service was there to mentor us, and within a very short time, I was able to, have a grasp of what I was there to do, and it went very well, and I delivered on my mandates.
It was all glowing tribute to the one they fondly call Madam Due Process.
So I'd like to, on behalf of all the Director Generals and head of agencies under the Ministry of Information and National Orientation, to congratulate you, ma'am, and to also thank you for the support that you've given to us since our appointment in October last year.
Your family will always be a blessing to you. As you retire, they will be by you. And now it is your turn. Please take care of our madam for us.
You laid a foundation that has given birth to the progress we're having in the Federal Ministry of Art, Culture, and Creative Economy. By extension, tourism. We appreciate you for that.
So my dear sister, my dear colleague, Dr. Ngozi Onwudiwe, as you are retiring, you are not tired. You've always looked smart, cool, and collected. We shall miss you in service, but in public service we will not miss you.
Despite losing her husband some years back, who was her support, she acknowledged that her boss and children made it easy for her to function well.
3. It's a very important thing to see that. I want to thank all of you, members of the Federal Ministry, members of family of the Federal Ministry of Information and National Orientation, for finding it necessary to organize this and to ensure that all of us are here to attend. I think this is a testament of the kind of working relationship that we all share as members of this family.
You have managed 3 ministries, multiple ministries. They forgot one very important ministry, the one on our side, the home ministry. And let me just say, she has handled it excellently well. So that's 4 ministries in total. Congrats. So mommy, as you start this new chapter in your life, I, on behalf of the family, want to say how incredibly proud we are of you. So I want to just say thank you, mommy.
Though retired but not tired, Dr. Ngozi looks forward to better days ahead, noting that even when called back to serve, she will even do better.
You know, the true emotion of retirement is often felt by staff who will miss the familiar face of their beloved boss in the office. All right. Now, fondly known as Mr. Go-Round for his hands-on leadership, Malam Mukhtar Abdullahi retired as General Manager of the NTA PIC after years of dedicated service. Now, the NTA Director General, Salihu Abdul Hamid Dembos, who was represented at the event, praised him as a committed and thorough administrator. Members of the NTA's management team and, of course, staff gathered to honor his contributions, and Tokwe Alabi was there to capture it for Newsline.
In the civil service, retirement is always a testament to one's dedication and hard work. And to Mukhtar Abdullahi, who is retiring as a managing director of NTA's property investment company, PIC, his joy knows no bound as members of the NTA family converged to celebrate him as he bows out of service after working in 10 different NTA stations. One line of thought that keeps recurring as the executive directors gave their speeches was their description of Malam Mukhtar with his fatherly calm, humility and dedication with which he works while in service.
Very, very responsible. You know, I don't know how to put it, but I want to wish you well because you have been a great person. To me, you are good. In fact, that's why I'm standing here.
I am happy that we are witnessing this moment because, you know, the devil scripted a different ending. But to the glory of God, we have you here, hale and hearty.
He's a godly person. You know, one of the attributes of, a godly person is humility. You know, humility, that calmness, gentleness. He has all those qualities of a godly person.
We can see that the grace of God is upon you and God had made it possible for you to retire old. Mukhtar is an embodiment of the camaraderie that distinguishes NTA as an organization. And I always call him gentleman. He's simply a fine gentleman.
NTA's Director General Salihu Abdul Hamid Dembos, represented by the Executive Director News Ayo Adebuji, acknowledged his competence and ability to deliver tasks without fear of favor.
I wish you well, and I pray that Almighty Allah will
chart your new course. Like I always said, it's a coffee break, rather. Please, I will pray God to give you the strength to enjoy this coffee break. I wish you well and I congratulate you once again.
For the celebrant, a good journey is not merely the conclusion of a story, but the culmination of all the choices and journeys taken along the way.
The most important that this job we see, government job, everything is based on rules and regulations. What normally create program is a debating from that rules and regulation. That's one. And secondly, people they think that when they have in a position, they can do that, they can undo.
Born in Kano in September 1964, Mukhtar Abdullahi joined NTA in August 1995 after transferring his service from Kano State Ministry of Education and has served in Dutse, Bauchi, Katsina, Maiduguri, and NTA TV College in Jos. Others are in Mina, Kaduna, and some units at the headquarters in Abuja, including Research and now Peak, where he retired. Like the saying goes, there are far better things ahead than we ever leave behind, as retirement is not the end of the road, but the beginning of an open highway.
Mr. Go Round, wish you the best. Now, our next report resonates deeply with many of us, myself included. And the challenges of being overworked and stressed can significantly impact our overall well-being. Now, sometimes to the point of even debilitation. Juggling endless to-do lists as a housewife, alongside long hours at the office, can be quite overwhelming, I can assure you. However, here is the good news. Finding that sweet spot where work and personal life can coexist harmoniously is very possible. And achieving a work-life balance might seem like an ambitious goal amidst, of course, today's hectic schedules, but certain clear priorities can make a substantial difference. And Adejoke Odeka shares some of those practical tips on how we can manage time and relationships effectively with us.
That experience of work.
There is no doubt that when work demands more of an employee's time or attention, other responsibilities or passions, especially for career worker personnel, suffers. This often affects the home front, where the children are worst hit, while health problems such as sleep disturbance, high blood pressure, weight gain, and weakened immune system might occur. According to Nigeria's Labour Act 2004, daily hours of work are to be fixed by mutual agreement or by collective bargaining. Section 13, subsection 3 of the Act makes provision for rest intervals of not less than 1 hour in total if the workday is longer than 6 hours, and for 1 day's rest per week in Section 13, subsection 7. Are these being adhered to?
This is Lagos, for instance. You don't expect having a so-called balancing when it comes to Lagos.
You go to some big schools, very big schools. I don't mean, sometimes you find just one music teacher, who has to teach around the whole, classrooms. It's difficult to balance life like that.
Experts are of the opinion that a work-life balance style of life brings about greater productivity, improved mental alertness, increased creativity both at work or in personal lives.
There's a natural diminishing law of return on productivity when it comes to mental health, and a number of triggers for mental health. It could be domestic issues, it could be work-related stress, it could be transportation stress and the likes.
Work-life balance is very company dependent. If companies have very healthy work culture, it's very possible for people. But if your company doesn't have very healthy work culture, it is a lot of struggle.
Work-life balance is critical for mental well-being as well as job performance, but not always easy to achieve. Experts, however, advised that striking a balance between the two is necessary to avoid consequences that may be fatal to the worker's health and lead to low business productivity.
It's all right. We will learn to balance work and life. But let's take a short break. When we come back, we'll bring you some more intriguing stories on Newsline. Welcome back, and thank you for staying with us. Now, legends are made when ordinary people achieve extraordinary things, leaving behind a legacy that touches hearts and shapes cultures. Ogun State, known for its rich tapestry of icons, proudly remembers one of its own, late Alhaji Rauf Ujubanire, the legendary talking drummer who took his art to the global stage. Now, as the heartbeat of the renowned Akbala music maestro, Alhaji Haruna Ishola's band, Rauf Ujubanire didn't just play the drums, he spoke through them, communicating emotions that resonated far beyond Ogun State's borders. Now, his rhythms carried stories, heritage, and a deep connection to tradition, making him an irreplaceable figure in Nigeria's cultural history. Though he may no longer be with us, his legacy remains vibrant. Yet the place he once called home in Ijebu Igbo is now in dire need of attention. His property stands as a silent echo of the life he lived, a call for action, beckoning both public and private entities to help restore and preserve what remains of this legendary drummer's world. And Anthony Gandono brings us the story of a legacy at risk, waiting for a community to remember.
Talking drums are vital instruments in every local music, especially juju, fuji, akpala, and reggae genres, especially in Africa. The lead talking drummer oftentimes dictates the tune and percussion of music to pep and thrill their fans. Such roles and positions were what Alhaji Rauf Ujubanire was to the Akpala band group of Alhaji Haruna Ishola in the early 70s to late 80s until his demise.
He was a talking drummer of no equal. Before his demise, during his lifetime, and even after his lifetime, we have not been able to see a talking drummer that can match his feat. The combination of the two of them gave us the best Akpala team that we have that has not been matched even till today. More than 30 years after the demise of Haruna Ishola and several decades after the demise of Baba Ujubanire.
For his exploit as a professional drummer and contribution to the art of music, Alhaji Rauf Ujubanire owned this building at number 22B Odo Anyongade Street, Okeagbo, Ijebu Igbo, headquarters of Ijebu North Local Government Area of Ogun State. At present, the building is in a bad state, needing urgent attention of government or public-spirited organizations and individuals to prevent a total collapse. A timely intervention will save the lives of family members, including the 93-year-old wife of the legend.
We are crying loud and clear to the people all world over to come to our assistance to re-establish that truck stop and make it a tourist attraction.
Out of Ujubanire family house, this is the only legacy. In fact, it would be a very good pride to me that at least they use something for a very good heritage something. The history will continue vindicating that.
Leaders of the Association of Professional Drummers of Nigeria in Ogun State say the contributions of late Alhaji Rauf Ujubanire to the development and growth of music in Nigeria are enough to merit public assistance to him even in death.
I'm
urging the state governor, Dapo Abiodun. This house, even if you can't do it, we still have some people in power to direct to Ijebu Igbo to renovate it. So please, we are begging you, help us find solution to it. They should renovate the house. Even the deceased will be happy in heaven.
They opined that the labors of the nation's heroes past should not be allowed to either be in vain or neglected.
And may the labor of our heroes past never be in vain. And as we close today's chapter of Newsline, we trust our stories have sparked inspiration and insight. Special thanks to our dedicated correspondents and the infallible behind-the-scene team. Most of all, we're grateful to you, our cherished viewer. And from all of us at Newsline, I say stay safe, stay engaged with the NTA network. I am Claire Adilabu Abdurrazak. Until we reconnect, same time next week, by God's grace, do have a peaceful night. Bye-bye.